All right, folks, so unless you have a micro center near you or you want to pay scalper prices, you're not going to get a 5060 or 5060 Ti near MSRP. So what are some of the alternatives out there? Well, of course, the 4060 Ti really is not that far off from this thing. If you can find it in stock anywhere. 4060 is a bit slower. For some of you, that's really not going to matter, right? Some of you are just like, oh, I need this new 5000 series GPU, and you could get by with a 5060 and save yourself some money, time, and hassle. Now, this is 440. It is a pretty decent card, folks. Doesn't use as much electric. And if you have an eBay account and you want to deal with eBay, you can find some used on here for definitely less than you're going to pay buying a new 5060 Ti, right? So the 4060 Ti is probably pretty darn comparative to a 5060. So that's one alternative. Another alternative, folks, and I have this graphics card, is just get a 4070. Now you're probably not going to find one of those new. Let's check Amazon. And of course, the 5060, 5060 Ti are out there if you want to pay scalper prices, or if you have a micro center near where you live. This is a jump up, but at least there's availability out there, right? 4070. This is a big jump up to go to 4070 Super. Definitely knows some performance improvement. This is a bit, I'd say, overpriced for 4060. Now, why not just get a 5070, folks? You're going to spend all that money, right? So eBay is probably your place to go if you want to go after 4070, not Amazon. I'm not sure if even Newegg has any in stock. Now the only negative of the 4070, it's 12 gigs, but it is a very powerful graphics card. So the Super, if you can afford it, 4070 Super all day over either of the 5060 or the 5060 Ti. So yeah, these are, that's open box. So it's hard to get one of those for MSRP. Now if we go to good old, let's go to eBay. Disregard that first one. Disregard all these, parts only. Parts only. So $550 for this, that's a pretty good price. $549. How much is a used Super? Let's find out. Our Ti actually. Let's do it by it now. So $700. Never heard of that brand. MSI, parts only, gigabyte. So it's like there's so many of these cards that are pretty much in the same ballpark, right? Now on the AMD side, folks, what out there would be comparative? I have this 7600. I don't think a 7700 is really going to get it done for you guys, but you know, price wise, it's got 12 gigs of RAM. That is definitely an alternative. I'm not a huge fan of the AMD graphics cards, but that is definitely an alternative. Now, you see how cheap those are? If you wanted to go up to 7800, where you're probably going to notice a comparative performance, you see that price there, 700s, 619 for, that's some bullshit brand. Sapphire's made in China, 7800, power color. So this is definitely an alternative, folks. 16 gigs of RAM too, so that is definitely a solid alternative. Now 7900s are going to be up there. I have the RTX. I think actually it's this one, but that's a monster card. This is definitely, RTX is 24 gigs. This is definitely much better than a RTX 5060 is. Then you have the 7900. Sorry, didn't I just put that in there? Sorry, 9070. You've got these, but you know, this is getting way up there in pricing, right? I mean, this isn't really an alternative, all right? If you were to go further back, hell, even a 3090, if you can find that. Nope, those are way too pricey, but let's start dropping down. 3080 maybe? What's a 3080 go for these days? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, folks, if a 3080 was comparative in performance. Doesn't have as much RAM, but it's still a heck of a gaming card. $4080s are too expensive, if they're even available. Yeah, but that's what I see as alternatives. Thanks for checking out my video. Please like, please subscribe.